Most large AI models still sit in a browser answering text questions. NVIDIA's new Cosmos 3, launched June 1st, 2026, is built to think about what your robots, drones, and factory lines should actually do. According to NVIDIA's own launch, Cosmos 3 is an open frontier foundation model made for physical AI, not just chat. That means its main job is to reason over sensors, cameras, and environments, then turn that into actions. Let's pin down what that really means. Most frontier LLMs think in text first, everything else is an add-on. Cosmos 3 flips it and is positioned for reasoning and synthetic data generation around physical agent skills as its default workload. To make this concrete, we'll hook Cosmos 3 up to a camera feed and a simple simulated robot task. The question is not, can it answer questions, but does it plan and explain physical actions better than a typical cloud chatbot? First, how big a scene can Cosmos 3 actually think about? NVIDIA lists a 128,000 token context window, which is much larger than many open models, but smaller than some sealed frontier giants like Gemini and GPT in research benchmarks. Compare that to Google's Gemma 412b, which VentureBeat reports at around 32,000 tokens, and to Frontier GPT and Gemini models in a Nature paper up at 200,000 and even 1 million tokens. Cosmos lands in a middle zone that's big enough for full sensor logs, not obsessive long-form documents. Here's the key trade-off. Those massive context windows are great for reading entire code bases or medical records, but they often live behind closed APIs. NVIDIA frames Cosmos 3 as part of an open frontier effort, where you can inspect the model and wire it into your own agents instead of treating it like a sealed SaaS box. NVIDIA also releases physical AI agent skills on GitHub alongside Cosmos 3. That is a quiet but important signal because it assumes you will pair the model with code that can observe a real environment, plan in it, then act, not just answer static prompts. Let's actually put them to work. We'll send a short video clip of a cluttered factory floor to Cosmos 3. Ask it to plan a safe path for a mobile robot through the scene and to explain step by step what the robot should do. This is where Cosmos feels different. Instead of a generic answer, it tends to lay out ordered actions, reason about occlusions and human movement, and treat sensor input as the primary source of truth. A typical text-first chatbot often gives vague advice that cannot be sent straight to a controller. NVIDIA also calls out synthetic data generation as a core Cosmos 3 workload. For builders, that matters because you can ask it to invent edge cases and rare failure scenarios for perception and control models instead of waiting for those accidents to happen in your lab. On deployment, Cosmos 3 is already wired into Baston, CoreWeave, Microsoft Azure, Nebius, Deep Infra, and Class Method as inference partners, according to NVIDIA. That means you can spin up a physical AI stack where the reasoning model lives as close as possible to your GPU sensors in the cloud. At the same time, NVIDIA name drops DGX and NIM around Cosmos 3, which hints they expect it to run on your own local NVIDIA hardware too. The pattern is clear. This is not meant to be a toy chatbot. It is supposed to sit near robots, cameras, and PLCs on real hardware. So who should actually care? If you build frontier web apps where users paste documents, the giant cloud LLMs with super long context still win. If you build anything that sees the world and moves through it, Cosmos 3 looks like a more honest fit because it is open, tuned for physical reasoning, and already integrated into the GPU clouds you probably use. Your move this week is simple. Try Cosmos 3 on one real sensor use case, not a chat prompt, and see if its step-by-step plans are usable by your control stack. If this helped, hit subscribe because next episode we'll test another new model on a real-world job it was actually built for.